find me, yeah, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be, yeah, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. If you wanna find me, yo, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be, yeah, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. So what's colder than ice and even hotter?
This is Shereen Rayan within the front row, where you get the best views in sports. I'm here with my co-host Kevin Barney, and we have a very special guest for you tonight, Stevie Rocker Jr., running back for the University of Arizona, who came out as a freshman and played 11 games. So we are expecting a great season next season from Stevie, and I'd like to pass the baton off to Kevin, who has some questions he'd like to ask first.
Yeah, thanks, Shereen. So, Stevie, I got to ask about Kadeem Carey. You being a CDO Dorado, he was a CDO Dorado, and then all of his amazing accolades for U of A. I mean, all-time leading rusher, all-time leading touchdown getter. So, did you watch a lot of Kadeem growing up, whether it was high school at U of A, and by chance is Kadeem maybe a role model for you? Do you have a relationship with him? Can you kind of talk about that?
So I basically, like, growing up, I kind of followed his footsteps without really like noticing, because we both played for the same youth football team, went to the same high school, or we went to the same middle school, the same high school, and like we basically did all the same stuff. So growing up, that's all I was basically compared to. As soon as I got like my last season of youth football, as I was going into high school, and then all through high school, and then once I came here, it was like really like stepped up. Like people were starting to compare it a lot. But I did see a couple of games growing up. I used to come to the games all the time, actually. But he was a little role model to me growing up, because I mean, he was a good player. Still, he went to the league, still playing good with the Stampeders. So he's obviously knows what he's doing. So yeah, it's cool to be compared to him, because obviously he did great stuff at the U of A. But it's just a lot to look up to, because now I want to try and beat those.
That's good, because one of my next questions then, and you're already kind of getting into it a little bit, is what are your team goals and personal goals for 2022?
Well, team goals, just get to a bowl game. That's been our goal basically since we've started having meetings this week, was just talking about just getting to the bowl game, kind of making it simple for us, just not trying to make it too crazy, just basically have this mindset for ourselves, just to say, you know what, like, we are a good team. We aren't bad. We have a lot of players that came in that are definitely going to be able to help us make that opportunity. So now we just got to be able to execute it through the spring, then obviously in season, make it happen too. And then personally, I just want to try and work to get that starting position and hopefully make an impact and be an impact player to get us to the bowl games.
Okay. And then your off-season workout regimen. Now, I know that TO has has the team in the winter workouts and so forth, weightlifting. But aside from what TO lays out, can you kind of take me through your personal regimen? So, for example, it's a Sunday and there's nothing planned officially by the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing stuff on your own, getting after it, running, doing push-ups, catching balls with somebody? Like, kind of take me through what you're doing in the off season.
So normally Sundays is like the day off, because we work out 6 days a week. So Sunday is usually the day that we try and get to at least rest our bodies. But usually those days I'm trying to like watch film, or at least trying to get some type of like mental reps on something, because physically I don't want to tire my body out too much. But mentally, since football is a lot of mental games, so I try and at least prepare myself mentally for a lot what's going to happen coming up pretty soon.
Okay. And then what's your thoughts on the 2022 recruiting class?
It's a great class. I talked to a lot of the kids, since kind of them being early enrollees too. Me and JT Hand are kind of the two kids that they kind of like shape around to look to kind of like ask questions about, or if anything gets difficult, to like talk to us. And when the class of 21 came, we were the only two early enrollees. So for them to have a big jump from 2 to, like, I think we had like 20 come in this semester. So it's kind of like it's a different kind of jump. So, but they're great kids. They're definitely great football players too, obviously. So I'm excited to see what they have for us.
What's the most interesting question they asked you? Like, what
Um,
was the one that you were like,
let me
or
think.
can't you say?
I'm trying to think. I guess
Ask
how
about
hard
the
the
pool
workouts
party?
are.
Oh, how hard the workout. They didn't ask about the pool parties, huh?
I mean, of course, they have that stuff. That's college, but I told them they'll get to experience that when they get to. I can't really explain it too much to them. That's just their own little personal experience they're gonna have to experience. But yeah, when it comes to our workouts, a lot of people like talk about how hard it was, especially how it was last year for like everybody being their first time. Like it wasn't easy. So they ask us all the time, like, how is that gonna be? Especially when we start our spring training workouts next week. That's like our hardest like 3 weeks that we'll go throughout spring ball. So we try and tell them like it's not an easy thing. Like you're definitely gonna be tired. And if you're tired now, the next week you're gonna be struggling.
So
That's
you're
a lot of water, right?
Yeah.
so you're a sophomore now though. So you've already got that at least a full year under your belt. So that's got to feel a little good that, you know, as a sophomore, you've got that experience so you can kind of maybe guide and mentor some of these freshmen. So I mean,
Yeah.
what's it like? What's the jump like going from freshman to sophomore?
Just the experience, especially me being able to have the opportunity to be able to play like I did. The experience of it is way different. I know a lot of our offense already, so it's a lot easier for me instead of like trying to learn the offense itself and what the play runs. I can just learn on like the little stuff, on like how the footwork's going to work, what the defenses are going to look like, what our defense is going to look like since we're going to be going against it a lot in the spring, what our protection calls are going to be from the line. Like it's a lot more like in depth instead of just saying like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do on this play. I go get this guy, I go run the ball this way. Like it's a lot more of, okay, if this guy's in this gap, I'd run the ball away from this. Or if these two linemen are going here, I'm supposed to pick up this guy if he blitzes. And it's a lot more of like, now it's just a lot more in depth and a lot more football knowledge to try and get myself ready for.
That's crazy. It's such an intricate sport. And
Yeah.
what I saw a picture of one of the guys coming in who's an offensive lineman who's 6'8", 310 pounds.
Yeah.
That's gonna help you, right?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's gonna make some holes in the like. I don't think we've had somebody that size in years.
Yeah, we have a lot of big guys and on the line now coming in. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so I mean that when I saw, I was like, whoa! And he said my little brother came by and he was old, he was bigger.
Yeah.
Whoa, I don't think we've had that, you know. We've had somebody that large. So
Yeah.
I was gonna also ask, so when Rayan, did he come? Were you one of the people that recruited him, Rayan Luke?
So actually, the weekend that he came on his official visit, I was his host. So
Oh, nice.
we had Kevin Green Jr. He was here. Ephesian was here. Another one of the linemen was here. And then Rayan was here. And I think we had one more that weekend. And it was the weekend right before we went to before our break, like after the season.
Uh-huh.
So they came like that whole weekend, but Rayan was here for only the day because we gave him an official like kind of last minute. But so he came here, did it for like the one weekend, and then he flew out from Phoenix and went to Louisville the next morning.
Wow. Well, you must have said or done something right.
I guess because that weekend all the kids committed that weekend.
That's
Besides like Rayan, because he said that he was going to commit, but then obviously he did it over the game. Like he wanted to make it like a big thing too. So he didn't say nothing until the game. But otherwise, everybody else that we had that whole weekend committed because everybody that was there too was either, I think two of them were USC commits at the time. And then another kid was still like trying to figure out where he was going to go.
Wild. It's just wild. Now I live in LA in Los Angeles. So Rayan's from St. John Bosco.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they played the Drew League, the basketball league last summer. You got Modern Day coming in. You got all these guys from Servite. They all play against each other in the same league here in Southern California.
Yeah.
So I'm predicting that you're going to have some spring breaks in LA. You might be out here with all those kids.
We don't know.
With all those kids from LA, you know.
Yeah. I think we'll see what happens when it comes to spring break. I'm trying to get out of Tucson because I've yet to take a trip outside of Tucson since I've been here. Since I really I've never had a reason to, because I live like 20 minutes from campus.
Well,
So
I've seen a lot of,
go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say the parents. So Spam and Eggs is, the quarterback's mom, and all these really tight families with lots of parents are going to caravan from California. So just cozy up to them and you'll have an invite.
Yeah.
Being from Tucson, of course, and you're trying to get out of Tucson, like you said, and that time will come. Don't worry, you'll get your chance. But tell me what it's like, though, to be from Tucson and to wear that block A.
It's kind of one of those things that, like, as a kid, you never really like kind of see it happen. Because growing up, I used to come to the games all the time. I used to sit, I think it was 5 rows up at the 50-yard line on the visiting side. And me and my dad and like my mom would sit there for almost every game that we went to. But the last game that I ever went to was the last Territorial Cup game that we won. That was here.
Oh, wow.
That was the last game I went to as like an actual fan instead of a recruit. And then like after that, I just went to games as a recruit. But I also did like, I think it was, I don't remember what game. I think it was UCLA, where they did the like the halftime game, like the youth football halftime game.
Yeah.
So I did that when I was like 8 years old. It was before they built, it was before we had turf or the football facility was even built. So that's why it's like crazy to me to think about that, because like I played on it like for like 30 minutes when I was super young, and I thought it was super cool. And now I'm like actually playing like full-time games on the field. And it's like, it's a weird thing to look at, but also it's super cool.
But the coaches have a ton of confidence in you.
Yeah.
Playing for 11 games as a freshman. I honestly haven't seen too many players come in and play right away as a freshman. That many games. So, they have a lot of confidence in you, and, it's good to see it. So, what are you learning from these coaches? Are they showing you the NFL way to be a running back, or?
Yeah, they're showing me basically every way possible to try and get me to be ready for the league. So they're showing me that they show us basically like every team in the league that runs our same offense. Like they show us every team that does that. They show us every type of like the type of practices we have, like most NFL teams practice the same way. So they're basically like preparing all of us for the NFL. So it's like we come from, if we go to a team that has the same playbook as us, we won't have to learn, like we won't have to sit there and learn a new playbook. Like we'll already have a jump against some people. So it's kind of a nice thing to have, like having all those coaches with like different connections in the league like that. Cause then you never really know like who's really going to be watching you. Cause every practice, we usually have a different scout at our practices watching us.
Well, that's awesome.
That's fantastic. Well, Jed knows both of the Super Bowl coaches, right? Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, that's definitely good preparation. So I just wanted to say, back on the Tucson thing and we're in the block A, there's a lot of fans out here, that are proud of you, because we want you to represent. We had Stanley Berryhill, we've got Jamari Joyner and others, but you're right in that same group, and now that you're a sophomore, especially, we're pulling for you, and we're proud to have you as that hometown guy. And then, can you talk about the running back room? Are you a tight knit group? Do you guys do things together? Do you have good communication with your fellow running backs?
I mean, we always have like our coach kind of like thrives on us having a good like communication between all of us, because he tells us all the time that like if a running back room is tight together, like we'll always like everything will be good for us. So we always root for each other in meetings. Like they're always fun with us. we usually sometimes we'll have like dinners at Coach Graham's house, like all of us as a running back room, and we usually just sit there, eat food. His wife will usually bake stuff for us, and then we'll play like different games like Uno or Dominoes, like different stuff like that, just to kind of like get to know each other a little bit besides of like football.
That's great.
to hear.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think Shereen, did you want to talk about the community service or?
Oh yeah, I saw you posting about Feed My Starving Children. How was that event? You guys look like you had a lot of great times, giving back to the community.
No, it was really fun to do, especially because I know the church, because the church is right next to my high school.
I was gonna say it's the Oro Valley Church of
it's like,
Nazarene, right?
it's literally right next to my high school. So like it was kind of cool to be over there and doing that stuff. It was fun, like making our own fun out of it, having our own little group, just kind of like finding a rhythm to just enjoy the time that we had all together.
What were you doing? I saw a funnel. I was trying to figure out were you putting like meal kits together, or were they meal?
Yeah, they're little like meal bags. So there's like 4 different things that they had for us. So it'd be like 2 people would do 2 things like those over there, dump them into a funnel, and then me and another person would be like the bags. So we had to like open the bag on the funnel, they would dump everything in, and then we would weigh the bag and then give it off to another person who would seal the bag and box it for us. And it was just
What an operation.
Yeah.
Is Fish do you guys go to the hospital too? I know Rich Rod used to do that.
I think we're gonna try and plan on doing that, but as of
It's
right
part
now,
of COVID, right?
yeah, because of that, like it's kind of hard for us to try and do that. I know he's gonna want to do that, but just of like the whole COVID situation, I know it's not gonna be as easy as he wants it to be.
Yeah. So what was your highlight of last year?
Highlight of last year.
Is it one play? Is it the one
Um,
win?
Man, the win was fun for sure. I'll say that. But I say the Washington game was fun because I played a lot in that game.
Uh-huh.
And then I'd say a lot of the traveling, like just traveling in general, was fun. Just going to different places that like I've never been to. Like I've never been to Pullman in Washington. So that was kind of interesting. I've never been to Oregon, so that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Was it raining in Oregon?
Nah, it was just cold in Oregon. Washington State was where it was raining.
It's so different, right? From the Northwest, it's just beautiful because of the
Yeah.
rain. Everything's green.
Oh yeah, it's super nice out there. And then like going to USC, I've been to USC a couple of times. So I used to take visits out there.
Yeah.
But going in the stadium like that, like it's kind of like it's just cool stuff to kind of go to places that you wouldn't really think that you would kind of see all the time like that.
Yeah, and as a freshman, a lot of them stay back. So you got the opportunity to travel with the team.
Yeah, it was fun to do.
Now, do you have a nickname we should be tweeting about when you're making a good play?
So everybody on the team calls me Baby Rock.
Baby Rock. That sounds like
Yeah.
a rapper. I like it. Do you like it though?
Yeah, it's kind of been a name that like I kind of just grew onto, just because like I made it like myself as like a joke.
Uh-huh.
But now like it's just another nickname on the team that everybody calls me. Like coaching staff calls me it. There's that, and then I'm also called one of the triplets. So there's 2 other kids on our team that looks like identical to me. So they call the 3 of us the triplets.
Who are the other 2? That's funny.
So
Yeah.
who are they? Who are your lookalikes?
So Dalton Johnson and Isaiah Taylor. Those are the other 2. And they both play safety here.
But you're the better looking of the 3, right?
That's what I say. That's what I think. Of course. Of course I'm gonna think that.
So what kind of things do you like to do outside of football that might help you get an NIL contract or, get some attention? Because we want to make sure that, you're getting exposure, because that's one thing you'd like, right? You'd like to be able to represent a brand or, so what kind of things are you interested in?
Really anything, honestly. I like to try new stuff. So if there's anything that's like kind of just like different or new that I've never really done, like I'd like to try and do something just different. Like that's something I've always liked to do, is just be different.
Yeah,
I like to be the different standout.
Unique.
And like, yeah, just be unique in just my own kind of way. just growing up, that's how I've always been. Like I always had like that one thing that somebody would never really think they would have, but I would manage to make it look cool. So then other people start to do it.
You have a secret talent? Are you a fashionista? Do you have good fits more than others?
I always do. But normally when you normally would see me, like if it's outside of just like me actually trying to dress up for something, I'm always wearing sweatpants.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get a store that has sweatpants.
Always wearing sweatpants.
Also, who is it? Dalen Terry has his own ice cream named
Does,
after him.
yeah.
Yeah, so go get a sandwich somewhere or some,
I know. People were telling me I should do the ice cream thing too and just make like a different kind of rocky road.
Yeah, that would be nice. Or even, yeah, because a rocker,
Yeah.
that's perfect. That or any kind of music company, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it. Okay, anything else you want to tell Wildcat fans about next season?
Just be ready. It's a new view in Tucson. We got new stuff coming, a whole lot of different people coming in. So just be ready to pack the stands because it's going to be a whole different view than what it was last year.
I love the vibe. Right, Kevin?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Love your attitude. Love your positive attitude. And we're really looking forward to the 2022 season, and we're looking forward to number 23 getting after it and scoring some touchdowns.
Yeah.
You have a big upside. We already can see it. Your coaches can see it. You know, Rashawn comes in. The two of you are going to be quite the duo.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and add Michael Wiley in there. I interviewed Michael Wiley as well, and he's a good guy, and I'm excited about your whole running back room, and I think that you're definitely going to be an integral part of it without question.
Yeah, it's going to be a good competition in the spring to see who's really going to get those opportunities, which I'm excited for it.
I know you'll make the most of it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, thanks for everything. It's really our privilege to be able to talk to you. I look forward to this all week. Kevin and I were talking about this all week and just real excited. So thank you so much for your time. And of course, bear down, go Cats.
Yes, thank you.
Guys.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
guys, of course, too.
If you wanna find me, yeah, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. If you wanna find me, yo, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. The best place to be.